Hi there, Dr. Jack. Thank you so much for joining us today for this conference. We really appreciate you being here. We wanted to ask you about your involvement with Automatickler and the development process.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me. Automatickler was not an easy decision given the current state of research funding that universities face. As you know, laboratories across the country, including at Purdue, are facing budget cuts, staffing shortages, and increased pressure to justify every expense.
So why move forward with Automatickler under those conditions?
Because if you look at the actual problems labs are facing, inconsistency in animal handling is one of the biggest threats to data quality. Automatickler solves that problem in a controlled, standardized way. And frankly, I have to ask, would you prefer that rats continue experiencing unnecessary stress just because automation makes us uncomfortable? Improving reproducibility and animal welfare is still worth the investment.
Some people might say that buying expensive robotic arms during funding cuts is risky.
That is true, but let me turn that around for a moment. Would you want to be handled differently every day by someone who is rushed, tired, and reluctant? Because that is the current system. Even if Purdue were to somehow go bankrupt after purchasing Automatickler units, which I am not saying will happen, the scientific gains and welfare improvements would still justify the cost. Bad data is more expensive than good equipment, and stressed animals are an ethical failure.
And how has Automatickler changed day-to-day research?
It reduces stress for the animals and removes hesitation from student researchers who may not be comfortable handling rats. It also frees up time for actual experimental work. From a research standpoint, it is simply more efficient. From an ethical standpoint, I would argue it is the responsible choice.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Dr. Jack.
Of course, I hope that answers the question. Unless that, uh, unless the alternative is that we want rats to suffer.